At one point in our moving that we chose the name ServiceMaster because it simply means serving the master. And we have tried to apply this in the best way that we know from the time we scrubbed our first rug until we have become, as I say, a multi-million-dollar business operating around the world. Now, this has not been easy at all times, and this is like God says, life is not easy. It's not a bowl of cherries. And when you become a Christian, it doesn't mean that you've got it made and that you're going to be turned out to pasture and have nice green grass every day. God said there would be tribulation in the world, but that we were to keep on fighting because He had overcome the world. Now, I needed help in the leading of men and the meeting the needs of men in their vocation and in their business. And what a man does for a living and the way he does it is important. Because God put us on this earth, and He put us here to work in the climate in which we are, and He'll take us off of it as soon as He sees fit to. But during the time that we are here, we have our instructions as how we are to operate as individuals. And no book ever written by anyone can tell it as good as the Bible does. And so I found that in the Bible I had a sales manual. I had everything that I needed to get men moving in order to become better men and to fashion a success for them in life. Now, my thinking of success is as Webster defines it, I like his termination or the favorable termination of a venture. This is the way Webster defines it, and I like to feel that life itself is a venture. That God has put us here, created in His image, and we are a living soul. We don't have a soul, we are a soul, and we are going to live forever, part of it on this earth right here. But beyond that, we are looking for a city not made with hands, and it will be a different world. Now, we're only going to be here for a short time, and we're going to be there for eternity. But both have their relative importance. And the Scriptures then brought to my attention in the reading of the Scriptures, and I had asked God for this. I had heard that any executive needs a short-range program and a long-range program in order to build a business. And in reading Paul's letter to the Colossians, and in the 3rd chapter and in the very 1st and 2nd verses, I found my long-range program, made to order. And it simply stated that as a Christian, my affections should be set upon things above, in heaven, where Christ is, not on things on this earth. And this made sense to me, for I've realized for a long time that I can't take anything with me. Someone else is going to live in my home, someone else will drive my automobile, and this meant something to me, and I did it. And I did it with all my heart. And then as I continued to read, I found in the 23rd verse of the same chapter my day-by-day program, and it's a honey. And it says that I should do everything wholeheartedly and do it unto God and not as unto men. Everything I do. And that meant to me everything I did every day I was to do wholeheartedly, and I was to do it unto God and not as unto men. And I want to tell you there is more depth in those verses on how to solve human problems than anyone has ever thought about. Because God Himself in Christ castigated more people more often with the statements about doing things half-heartedly. And I, in my own life, found out in the Marine Corps, I found out in playing professional baseball, I found out in a great many ways that no one can do anything successfully half-heartedly. And even God said, first of all, that we should love Him with all of our heart, all of our mind, all of our soul. And then He castigated those who did things half-heartedly, like in the city of Laodicea, a whole city. He said, you're neither hot nor cold, you're lukewarm, and I'll spew you out of my mouth. How terrible those words are. And so then I started to move in following those words by doing things wholeheartedly. And doing them unto God simply means, this doesn't mean that you despise men.